And nobody saw the vision back when I was grinding. All I needed was the riches, I ain't care for shining. When you question me about all that was behind us, never giving all my time, but I could buy you diamonds. Whatever you alarm off, cat alone, turn this up. Sun peeking through the curtains, we already in gear. Whole town tuned in, bring your coffee over here. Dial locked in, yeah, you know how we do. It's the community wake up with news you can use. Woo! Community wake up morning show. Charles and DAMALI on the go. Let's go. Alarm off, cat alone, turn this up. Sun peeking through the curtains, we already in gear. Whole town tuned in, bring your coffee over here. Dial locked in, yeah, you know how we do. It's the community wake up with news you can use. Woo! Community wake up morning show. Charles and DAMALI on the go. News you can use right here, right now. We break it down, put it in your lifestyle. Charles got the headline straight, never hollow. DAMALI got the game plan, moves you can follow. Traffic and the weather, what's popping at the school. From the block to the boardroom, we keep you in the loop. Yeah. Community wake up morning show. Charles and DAMALI on the go. News you can use right here, right now. We break it down, put it in your lifestyle. From the front porch to the car bustle, keep it light, keep it real, keep the hometown muscle. Turn it up, let the whole crew know you rockin' with the community wake up morning show.
right, y'all. I think we ready now. I think y'all can hear us.
Hey.
Yes.
Honorable said finally they back. You know how it goes down in the town. Again, welcome to the Community Wake Up right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, home of Black Wall Street, Charles and
DAMALI.
we live, y'all. Appreciate y'all hanging in with us. The inaugural, the debut, and all that good stuff. Coming to you live. DAMALI, again, how was your weekend?
Weekend was amazing. We spent our entire weekend getting ready for you wonderful people right here on the live. We are so excited today. I see the hearts. I see the love. Yes.
Appreciate that. That.
So we want to say happy Black History Month.
Right.
Yesterday was the official day for Black History, but you know, of course, on any radio station that we're on, we're doing Black History 365.
I know. How you feel now that everybody going to be able to wake with us every day?
You know what? I have been so excited that I woke up this morning at 4:00 a.m. My alarm was set for 5.
Right.
But I woke up at 4. I was actually in the studio by 5:30.
You know what? I was on my way over here and I seen some of your shoes on the side of the highway. They said DAMALI left these shoes here running to the radio station. Mr. Charles, she gonna meet you at the station. I said, hey, I understand the energy and the love. And DAMALI, I'm most excited about the community to get a chance to wake up because there's a lot of reasons why you should wake up. We got to give a quick shout out to Angie Walker.
Yes, Angie Walker with Party of the Year. She is the person that actually got this nice backdrop for us and got us ready with that. We also want to give a huge shout out to DJ JB Smooth.
Absolutely.
Listen, JB Smooth is responsible for all the drops that you are going to hear throughout the show, but he also was up here working all weekend with us.
We was up here. He came off the road. He set up shop with us, and we made this thing happen. So we are extremely excited. But Community Wake Up, what's going to be different about this than all the other things we've been doing, DAMALI?
Community Wake Up is all about waking up. So listen. Getting up in the morning, but it's also about waking up to what's happening in the world around us. There's so many great things that are happening, and that's what we choose to focus is on the great things that are happening in the world, because there's a lot of crazy, and crazy can keep you crazy.
Right.
We don't want to do that.
Yeah. Now we will address situations now. If a situation happened, we will address it. But it's one of those things where instead of out of the top 10 stories, 8 of them being negative, or maybe 9, then it's going to be the other way around. 8 of the stories going to be great stories about the great things, not just local, but national and international. So if you want to do us one quick favor, now that we got our volume, click share.
Yes.
Text somebody.
Yes.
Tell them to tap in because we live on KBOB 89.9 FM locally.
Yes.
Of course, if you riding in your car, we on nycu.fm. Phone, car, iPad, you just go to nycu.fm, stroll, hit play. So if in your car, you can just hook it in like your Bluetooth. If you're in the gym working out, throw us in your headphones. If you're just on your phone at work and you don't want your boss to fire you, put it on your laptop, on your computer, and just turn it down just a little bit. But either way it go, you're going to be rocking with us. We're also live on YouTube.
That's right.
So for you YouTubers out there, you can go to the official World One Development news you can use because we are live on YouTube as well.
Yes, absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump into our morning affirmation.
Let's do it.
Because, you know, we got to have a little spiritual thing.
We got to have that.
So our morning affirmation today is, I rise today standing on the shoulders of those who dreamed freedom into existence. Their courage lives in my footsteps.
What does that mean to you, DAMALI?
You know, that's a lot of responsibility.
It is.
That's big responsibility. That means we need to think about what it is that we're doing because we're standing on somebody else's shoulders. There are a lot of people who fought and died for the freedoms that we have. They may not feel like a lot sometimes, but they fought for what we have. So we are responsible. And we are responsible to the next generation.
Right. And I feel like with this being Black History Month, this is a time that everybody focuses in. A lot of people acknowledge DAMALI. And what's so crazy is our Black history, you know, is under attack right now.
Absolutely.
You know, in many, many different states, you can't even teach Black history anymore, you know, in schools and in colleges. But the thing about our history, you know what I mean? Black history is our history.
That's right.
So we hoping that we can come together, black, white, green, and yellow, blue. Depends on what color it is. This depends on what's going on. But the bottom line is we're going to welcome everybody to this show because this is going to be where we bring unity into the community. And that's why we're going to call it the Wake Up.
Absolutely.
Want me to go to the live real quick, do some shout outs?
Live.
Boy, you know I'm gonna come to the shout out. Now we got a whole lot of secret listeners. I'm gonna acknowledge the secret listeners first. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? But Mr. AJ Johnson down in the J-Bone Lounge, he is tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. He was the first one on. My cousin Pearlie New, not see her on. She said good morning and congratulations on your very first show. We also got cousin Lori live in the building.
Cousin Lori?
Uncle Bobby, shout out to Uncle Bobby. He done hopped up and put us on over there at KBOB. He's live. And Anna Marie Baker,
hey sis,
live in studio. Mom is on. My mom
Mommy?
And all of us. What's going on, Mom? Thanks for tuning in. With the Mr. Jeremiah Mississippi's in the building.
What's up, Mississippi?
Look, we call him
it was cold.
the maestro. It's cold. How's y'all weather?
It's cold. Oh, keep that cold weather. It's
I
kind
know.
of cold here.
I know.
It's kind of cold. It's 33 degrees right now outside here in Tulsa, but you know.
It's pretty chilly, yeah.
It's chilly. It's nippy.
Yeah, Miss Brenda Harbin is on and many, many others. But Damali, you said something big when you said about our affirmation. I think a big thing about life is we have to always give thanks, give back, and understand what is going on. Because I think a lot of time people miss that. Now, I believe that our generation do a little bit better.
Right.
But I think it may be a little disconnect between us and our youth right now. Why do you think that is?
I think that sometimes maybe it's because they feel like they're not heard.
Right.
I think that a lot of times what we do as parents, and I know even me, you know, I'm telling you, so I have to practice of talking to you versus telling you what to do because I feel like I'm older or I've been through something, you know? Right.
And for me, I always think about this when I was growing up because, you know, my best friend, Mr. Willie Slaughter, back in the day, I was 5.
Right.
He was 85.
Yeah.
And that was my partner till he passed away around 103. And I was about 25. But nevertheless, he always said the information highway is coming. Did y'all hear about that information highway is coming?
Yeah.
I believe the information highway just might be AI.
Might be.
I think the information highway might just be all this digital stuff we got now. Because when we were younger, Damali, you know, if you want to visit somebody, guess what you had to do? You had to walk. You had to knock. You had to ride your bike. You had to knock on the door. Right. Hey, ma'am. See the respect right there. Hey, sir, can I please play with this or that? Yeah. But now you don't have to do that. These kids can sit back and have access to anybody or any information across the world instantly. Yeah. Have you ever gave your baby your cell phone?
Oh, my God.
I'm talking about a baby that can't even talk yet.
My grandkids. How about my granddaughter?
Right.
I think she might have been 1, maybe 2.
Right.
She's on my phone and my phone rings and she just swipes it on out and keeps on watching her. I'm like, hey.
It's like they naturally have a built-in do not disturb. Exactly. You know, they can be 6 months and you try to call, no call, back to YouTube, back to my stuff.
Exactly.
But anyway,
I pay the bill.
We're going to have young people pull up in here, though, because what our goal is to bridge that generational gap so we can have communication, because whatever we're going to do, we're going to need to do this thing together. Can you agree to that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, hey, we got some news you can use.
Let's go with it.
So we're going to talk about this for a little bit. News you can use. So, you know, we've been talking about the Real ID for how long?
Man, let me tell y'all something. Y'all get your seatbelt on real quick. Get your pen and the pad out. Click share. The Real ID. Yes. We've been talking about it for about a year and a half, telling people that this thing was coming. But if you missed it for whatever reason, Damali, you know what?
Right.
If you try to go to the airport, if you try to go to a federal building, you're going to have some problems.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. You will have some problems. So this is the deal. The Real ID. TSA is now implementing a $45 fee if you do not have the Real ID.
Man, and you already got to talk. You got to check in your bags. That might be already $30, $45. But now the Real ID is another $45. And you got a longer wait in TSA. Now, it's already bad enough, Damali, that you can't barely get on your plane right now. But effective as of Friday, when you go, you have to have your Real ID. I believe to go into federal buildings, you have to have your Real ID. You have to have that. So, guys, if you just waited so late, please go and get your Real ID. So this is the deal.
Travelers, you now have 2 options. You got 2 options.
You got 2 options. You got 2 options. What's the 2 options?
Have a Real ID or an acceptable ID, which that acceptable ID is going to be your passport.
Right.
Or pay the $45 fee to participate in TSA's Confirm ID. There is no longer a free option.
No free option is going on anymore. So we came on first to let you know, if you hadn't done it yet, go get your Real ID.
Make it happen sooner rather than later. All right. the state of the state is happening today.
Man, we're gonna go local on y'all real quick. Yeah, Governor Stitt.
Yeah.
The state of the state. Damali, how curious are you with what he is about to say on
Well,
today?
yeah, I want to know because so this is his last term. He's now termed out.
Okay, this is it for Governor
So
Stitt.
this is his last state of the state here in Oklahoma. But I'm real curious because we are dead last in education.
Yeah.
We are number
true.
45 in health.
Right.
So we kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I want to see really what he's got to say, what his plan is for this next year while he's still in office, about what, we can expect.
Yeah, Damali, they said we bring our volume up a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit, just a little dab. Both volumes up a little bit, up a little bit.
Okay, how about that?
Up a little bit.
How about that? Is that good? Can y'all hear us now?
There we go. We'll go. No, they can hear. They just said up a little bit.
Okay.
Yours might just be a little low. And we rather for you to hold your voice because we hear all week. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But I'll say this. I know it's many factors when you're a governor because I look at this, the governor, not just of our state, but your state too. Your governor is the CEO of your state.
Right.
That means all the financial stuff going on. If your state is doing good or bad, he's the one sitting back allocating the money, who get what, and all of that stuff. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, it could be a myriad of reasons. One, we rank number 1 incarcerating women.
Okay.
And number 2 or 3 incarcerated men.
Yep.
And like you said, in the health, we at the bottom. Education, we at the bottom. Does that mean what he did was not good? Because I'm sure some good things that he did. At the end of the day, when you're in office, the bottom line is it comes down to results.
It comes down to results. It always comes down to the numbers.
And it's on your watch.
Yep.
So either way it go, we're not saying, but tonight at what times? 7 o'clock.
So actually, you'll have to check your local listing.
Yeah, that's right.
And to see what time is actually going to be coming on or going to be airing. It's also going to be on YouTube.
Right.
And you can go to stateofoklahoma.gov.
Right.
And you'll be able to get information there as well. So check that out and see, what's going on. And this should help you make decisions for the upcoming election as to what platforms, because now we're going to know where the problems are in our state. And so now we're going to know, okay, whose platform is going to be best suited to fix the issues that we have in our state.
Right. And if you stay locked in to us, what we're going to do is figure out who the front runners are to become our next governor. So as we get that information, you stay locked in to the Community Wake Up with Charles and Damali, and we always going to keep you informed as to who's going to be our next governor, because it's always a surprise when you're dealing with politics.
Always. All right. The next thing that we're going to talk about is tax deadline.
Man. Did you say tax? At this point, I'm logging off. No, I'm just playing. I'm going to stay home with y'all. But how y'all doing with y'all taxes? I'm telling you, that's always a thorn in everybody's side.
Oh, my God. As soon as I see our accountant's phone number come up on my phone, I'm like, oh, God.
Right. And I can tell you this, as of January 31st, you should have all your 1099s, all your W-2s, because that's kind of pretty much the official deadline to have everything that you're supposed to get from your employer, for people that you work with, folks you had contracts with. And it's important to understand them 1099s, Damali, because if we pay you, we're going to give you a 1099, so that's going to be filed on the taxes. But when you file your taxes, you need to add that, because if not, that's what audits and those claims and red flags come. So if you get a 1099, you got to remember, you got to file that with your taxes. You know that, man, I made that money on the side. Well, sort of, kind of, because when you're doing business the right way, and we encourage you to do business the right way, then you have to file that on your taxes. But the new deadline, I heard they did an extension.
So here we go.
Let's go with
it. The for personal taxes, which that's everybody, if you have dependents, typically you're gonna get a pretty nice little chunk of change coming back most of the time.
Right.
So the deadline for that is April 15th in order for you to file. They started accepting taxes as early as January the 26th.
Right.
So you can file your taxes right now today. If you have your 1099s and your W-2s, go ahead and file it. So the people that's getting money back, they file fast.
Right. And that's the beauty of listening to the Community Wake Up, because here's the thing. We don't want nobody behind on their taxes.
No.
Because the worst thing to do is to get behind, because if the IRS is looking for you, the IRS don't take no days off. It seems like the government be shut down, everybody be out to lunch, but the IRS is still going to send you a letter because they want their money when they want their money. So make sure you stay out of trouble with the IRS, and you heard it first right here on the Wake Up.
Exactly. And so now you can't file an extension.
Right.
On your taxes, on your personal tax returns, and that extension would put you out until October 15th.
You know what?
You wouldn't have to worry until then.
I'm gonna go ahead and do my extension today.
Oh God.
I'm just looking at our schedule. But
Are you listing merits? Charles is finding
Don't call out
already.
our people. What I am saying, I'm gonna do an extension. You know how sometimes you look at your schedule and you be like, man, this is gonna
So
be
many
a loaded
things going
schedule.
on,
So
yeah.
no, I'm just playing. I'm gonna get my taxes done on time. Let me go to the live real quick, man. We
Okay.
got a lot more people chiming in. Uncle Brian said, "Good morning,
What's
guys."
up, Uncle Brian?
Charles, acknowledge me. Uncle Brian, I just acknowledged you. I felt you coming up in my spirit. Welcome to the show. Our sister Teresa is on.
What's up, older sister?
Yeah, Miss Brenda Harbin is on. Thank you for
Brenda,
tuning in with us. Man, we done got we almost had 1,000 people to Molly day one.
Okay.
You know, so people is finding out we may on the airways. Thank y'all for clicking share because more people are in, and we got a lot of high level things to hit on today.
Yes, absolutely. So let me give you the rest of the tax deadlines, okay? So if you are a business, if you have an S corp, then your deadline is March 16th, but you can file an extension to September the 15th.
Okay, write that down.
If you have a C corp, and now you got your tax person will be able to tell you what you have and you should know. But if you have a C corp, your deadline is April the 15th. And if you need to file an extension, October 15th is going to be that deadline. And then lastly, if you have a not-for-profit, which we do, then not-for-profits, you need to file your taxes, your 990 by May 15th.
May 15th.
But if you need an extension, you can extend to November 16th.
And we will post all of these updates. So if you missed them for whatever reason, that's why we want you to click share. This is critically important information that people need to get. You know what? Last week, people was all out of school, Damali.
I know.
That ice, how did you fare doing that? Did y'all deal with the ice? It seemed like the ice was definitely in Oklahoma. We were stuck.
Listen, the ice was everywhere. I was in the house for at least one day. You know, when you own buildings, you got to come out and check your building.
Right.
To make sure,
man.
you know, pipes ain't frozen and, you know, stuff like that. So, but one day I was actually in the house for the whole, you know, for the whole duration.
Yeah. So shout out to all our small business owners, because the one thing you do know, when you do own a business, you cannot just stay at home. You got to go check, because if not, your whole building may be flooded out. People be trying to break in your stuff, take your vehicle. So for your thieves, take a day off when it's cold outside. It's 0 degrees, Damali.
I know. And
give everybody a break. You out here. So when you have a business, and the people will learn this, if you don't know, then a lot of times, then don't let your electricity go off.
Oh,
because no electricity means no alarm. So if the electricity go off, you know you got to go check the stuff. Hopefully that didn't happen. Hopefully those kids didn't eat up all of your food.
Right.
You know, and they are back at school now. Here they got back to school on Friday. So
yeah, they went for one day.
One day, and a lot of around Oklahoma, most of them got one day back in. So we ain't giving y'all the whole week. Now we gave you 4 days.
So what we want to remind you guys about is, because the school zones were off.
Yeah.
Because, you know, school was out. So if you are out and about this time of morning, you know, it's 30 minutes past the hour.
Right.
If you are out at this time of the morning, make sure that you are paying attention to those school zones, because, you know, they'll have a little trap set for you.
Yeah, and they'll double up on that fine.
Sure will.
So y'all be careful out there in those school zones today. I want to tell you something else that I'm excited about.
What's that?
Is that with so much going on with media, I'm glad we have this platform to really keep people informed, because there's so much crazy information out there. It's like you almost don't know what's real and what's fake when you think about it. So the one thing you're gonna be able to get, whether you local, national, international, you're gonna be able to get real news, and we do our research right here on the Wake Up. And so that wake up means a few different things. So one, wake up like I had to do this morning, but two, let's wake up to the things that are going on in our country. And we're gonna talk about a lot of those things, because there's a lot of stuff happening.
A lot of stuff happening. All right, so we want to just let you know that starting out this morning, we are at 33 degrees.
Yeah.
But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
We're
going to get up to 58 today.
Today?
Yes.
You know what? That's good and bad.
Why is it bad?
It's bad because to me, when it's real cold like that, and then all of a sudden you just shift that fast, I think that's why people be getting sick so much, Damali, because what do you
allergy gel?
What do you dress on? Because it's a chance now that it could be actually 50 or 60 degrees, and by nightfall it's 20. And what do? You know, you inside, got the heat on, and look, we gotta pray for our HVAC units, because you know normally, because you know the rule is you're not supposed to go back and forth like that, but you don't have no choice. You know, so
absolutely. What I'm most excited about is these dirty snow piles are about to melt and go away.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, because they just look really bad. Really, really bad.
Michael Brewer, I see you. Welcome to the show. Good morning to you, sir.
Michael.
Mr. AJ said down in the ticket about this show is about all of us. We're here together. So Mr. AJ said here in Jacksonville, we could not get out of for the first 3 days. They were stuck in, but he got a generator. So the generator was there. It was set up. It was ready. It was on point and on time. Now, right now, the way my bank account is set up, I looked at the generators. Now, I seen them. Now, I didn't purchase them yet, but as I put my piggy banks together, because it's
not banks with an S.
When I put my piggy banks together, then I'm gonna find a way to get me a generator, because you're right. Because if the lights do go out, PSO, for whatever reason, that ice get on them lines and you stuck, man, having a generator is, man, that's like a lifeline.
That's
literally save
For
your
real.
food and save yourself. So if you can get a generator, then Mr. Energizer, we appreciate you letting people know if you can also grab that.
Right, absolutely. So let's see what's coming up next. Should we take a quick break? Because I think
we're gonna take a real quick break, because we've been on for like 30 minutes, and we're gonna let you hear some of these drops and some of these intros as we get into it, and then we're gonna jump right back into it on the Community Wake Up.
We don't just make history, we honor it. It's time for your Black History moment of the Community Wake Up.
Moment. Well, that was our Black History moment. So I guess that's what we're going to be doing right now. We're gonna get these drops together, y'all. Today is day number 1.
The real deal Holyfield.
The real deal Holyfield. So today our Did You Know fact is, did you know that Alice H. Parker was a Black woman who received a patent in 1920 for creating her system of central heating using natural gas? It was a revolutionary idea that conserved energy and paved the way for the central heating systems that we have in our homes today.
Right. Just like, did you know that?
I did not know that.
And it's amazing. We just talked about the HVAC. We just talked about that.
Great segue.
And you know, another thing too, with this being Black History Month, Molly, I think that's what happens a lot of times is you don't realize just how much we have invented, how much we have contributed to this great country that we live in. And I think that these kind of things have to be acknowledged, because I think a lot of times with our kids in school, they don't realize what they have inside of us, because they don't know about all the different people that invented certain things, just like the HVAC. So now being responsible for the heat and cooling is a sister.
Absolutely.
And you just acknowledge her. So y'all make sure y'all remember that fact.
Yes, Alice H. Parker. Now we're going to go to a
This is a
break.
community alert. Resources, deadlines, and information you need to know right now on NYCU.FM and KBOB 89.9. It's time to open the mic, because the community has something to say. Real people, real stories, real solutions. You're hearing community voices on the Community Wake Up.
All right, so we are back.
And we are back just like that.
Yes.
Let you get there to chime in with just a little bit here on the Community Wake Up. Wake up, y'all.
Yes.
Y'all better get on in the house as we work this thing. Corey, cousin Lori, how you doing? Good to see you.
Yes.
Thank you for chiming in one time. We really appreciate that.
Right. We absolutely do appreciate that. Okay, so many of our listeners are ecstatic about us starting this morning show, right?
Right.
And so we're going to give you the 5 top reasons why community media matters. So if you have not heard,
right,
and we talked about this a little bit on yesterday, if you guys listened to Soul of Sunday with Corey D, we talked about this a little bit, but TikTok.
Man, now when you say TikTok, everybody's ears gonna go up. So if you didn't know about this, get your pen and pad out, because this is critically important to know. Because if your kids don't want to come out the room, if they putting the blinds down, tell them open them back up. But this is the reason why that's happening. Breaking news.
Right.
TikTok.
So TikTok was recently purchased in the U.S. by a gentleman by the name of Larry Ellison. Actually, it is Oracle is the name of his company.
Right.
And so he is a very significant person in the space of communications. So TikTok is now majority owned by a group of U.S.-backed investors, which includes Oracle, Silver Lake, and MGX. The app's former owners, which is a Chinese company named ByteDance, retains a minority stake of about 20%. But some of the users on TikTok, which I didn't know this, are declining to use the app because of the new terms of conditions and terms of service, because they believe that they are censorship.
Right, right. Damali, what you think? Because the one thing we do know, it seemed like TikTok gave everybody that free voice, where they feel like their voice could be heard because it was not monitored by our government. Not
Right.
nothing against our government.
Right.
It just kind of is what it is. But now with this giant coming in and purchasing TikTok, that means everything gonna be censored differently. There gonna be certain things you can't talk about, and it's gonna be messing with people's money because people was making a really good life off TikTok. But now with all these rules and regulations, like you said, a lot of people are opting out. Damali, do you think that's an infringe on our freedom of speech?
I actually do think it is. And let me tell you what Bernie Sanders had to say about this. Bernie Sanders said this. He said, thanks to Trump, right-wing multi-billionaire Larry Ellison will now control the TikTok algorithm. See, that's the issue.
Right.
The TikTok algorithm. So listen to all of these different media outlets that he now controls.
Hold on, now get your pen and pad off, because here's the thing. The biggest thing that's going on, I feel like, in America is controlling what you can say, what you can do, and all of
What
those
you can
things. Or to what you say, Damali?
Or what you can hear.
Or what you can hear,
Right.
which is critically important, and which is a huge reason why the community wake up is going to be really important this year and for the years to come, right?
Yes.
So let's
absolutely.
get down to, if you didn't know all of what this young man owns.
Okay, so he actually owns CBS, MTV, the Free Press, BET, CMT, Simon and Schuster, Nickelodeon, Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, and more. Bernie Sanders says this is what oligarchy looks like.
Right. Now break down what oligarchy is, just in case
It's
they
just
don't know.
control.
Right.
It is being, so basically our airwaves are being controlled. And one of the things that we talk about is when there is military action or there's some type of takeover, then the first thing that happens is they take out communication.
Now, Damali, I'm just gonna make sure I heard it correctly. Hopefully y'all did too. If y'all have a question on here, ask us the question on the live. But again, mention all of the different media outlets that this one man that's a billionaire owns. What's his name one more time, and what all does he own?
His name is Larry Ellison.
So write that down on your paper, Larry Ellison.
He is the executive chairman of Oracle Corporation and chief technology officer. He actually founded his company in 1977. So he's been in the game
He's
for a
been in
long
the game
time.
for a minute, right?
Yeah, for a very long time. But he, what Bernie Sanders says is this is what he now controls. So he, over the years, since 1977, he's been amassing all of these different, and acquiring all of these different communication outlets. So he now controls CBS, MTV, the Free Press, BET, Simon and Schuster, Nickelodeon, Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, and more.
Uncle Brian said the free voice is over. Oracle also owns Paramount, which is owned by Skydance.
Yes.
Damali, how does that make you feel about that? I mean, just like personally, because we're going to be talking about this. And Uncle Brian, thank you for chiming in. But when you just think about it yourself, when somebody owns that much of a world's voice,
right,
and can control what you hear, what you don't hear, how do you feel about that?
I think that it is unfair. I think that for Americans, we have been so conditioned and programmed to think that we had freedoms that maybe not exist. Right. And so when you hear about someone having the monopoly over all of these different, like how many people watch MTV?
Man,
when we're talking about Nickelodeon, so that means you're programming our kids.
And then a lot of times the MTV also is your music.
Yeah.
You gotta think about that too. What kind of music? BET. When they said BET, I said, oh, but I know Mr. Johnson had kind of let that go a little bit. But I really wish he would have held on to BET. I know he became a billionaire, but imagine what this guy is doing with that, because he might got $1 billion. I heard this guy got close to $300 billion. So that's how it's concerning for me, because now whatever you want to post or do or come up with, you got to go through these huge networks. So it's kind of like
algorithms. And so, you just never know. So that is the one of the premises for the community wake up,
right?
Is because we want you guys to understand and to know that these things are happening, right? And so, you've got to be tuned in to shows, not necessarily trying to plug our show, but you've got to be tuned in to folks who are going to give you the real deal. Everything that you hear or everything that you see may or may not. You need to start doing your own research to figure out what is actually happening and what is actually going on.
Right, and hopefully this thing could show up at your breakfast. You know, when the family's having breakfast together, we got to get back to that a little bit too. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Then let these be a point of conversation. You know, because this world is changing so fast, and us, you know, we have a responsibility to inform our next generation on what's going on, because they may just be in the midst of what's going on, and they inside this fishbowl that they don't realize it's even there. And you know, and if we don't address these things or talk about these things, man, they can really get out of hand. So y'all be in prayer for that. And again, write down that name, Larry Ellison. Do your own research and your homework, because man, that's a tough situation to be in for us as Americans. So TikTok users, y'all be all right. Y'all gonna be all right. But you just got a new sheriff in town, so you're gonna have to do something a little bit different. Damali, it makes me feel like these midterm elections are coming up.
Oh yeah.
You know, so now when you think about a lot of propaganda. So now, what do you really get to see? Because let me tell you what most people go for their information. They go to TikTok. Everybody I would talk to, man, did you hear on TikTok? So a lot of people, Damali, go to TikToks, and that's why I think it was uncensored. People could say their truth, but now there's things where if you say certain things on TikTok, they're gonna shut you down. If you even mention it, they're gonna shut you down. So and this is some of the things that I found out as I was doing the research for this, that for Black creators, TikTok is not just an app. Right.
It is their primary source of income for some.
Right.
It is a visibility engine.
Right.
You know, so that's how you get, like you said, most people go to TikTok.
Right.
You know, and it's a cultural amplifier. You know, with music, language, fashion, politics, you know, it's there. So the concern is algorithm suppression. Right.
And I'll tell you the thing that was most concerning for me is all the people, Black and brown people that work at TikTok, guess what?
Out of there.
Your services are no longer needed. Now think about that. Now think about that for a minute. You know, we're not trying to do no big conspiracy theory type stuff, because that's not what we do. But we just try to give you the information so you can be informed. But once TikTok was purchased, all the Black and brown people, your services are no longer needed. And so you got to take that as you will and do what you need to do with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the other thing is they changed the monetization rules. So now it's different. So, you know, like you said, people's money is being affected. Another thing that they're thinking is that the algorithm is going to favor brands over grassroots.
Right.
Which that's really concerning.
Right.
You know, so, you know, we would be considered a grassroots, you know, our Youth and Family Fund Center would be considered a grassroots organization. So they would favor the brands because they're big bucks over, you know, smaller organizations. So, I mean, it's a lot to think about and it's a lot to take in.
Yeah, that's kind of like when you have your mom and pop stores like it used to be back in the day. Damali, you remember you used to go in and say, hey, my mama, my grandma said we need some butter or some sugar. You could write it on a little list. Here you go. You pay on Friday, that kind of stuff. The mom and pop stores that you could go get your fresh produce and all of that. But then if all of a sudden a super center, Walmart gets set in your community, boom.
Yeah.
Guess what? Because they buy in mass production, then it just kind of it knocks out all of the small grassroots organizations. So all the mom and pop stores that everybody grew up with and stuff, they just can't compete with them price wise. So now you just got only a super center there. So guess what? It absorbs all the money. So it's one of those things where in your mental, you got to start thinking, if you still have those mom and pop stores in your neighborhood, you got to support them still. Even though you got to go do the other stuff, still support the people that's always been there. It makes me think about like a Wonder J's restaurant.
Exactly.
Been here for over 50 years. So even though you get these other restaurants, still go support the people that was there for you when others were not.
Absolutely. So we're going to go back to the top 5 reasons why media is important. So all of that was a segue to say there's some things happening. We need to wake up to those facts and we need to understand what's happening and what's going on.
We're going to go to the live real quick to see what AJ. Okay. All right.
Okay. So AJ says when a person or people has that much control, they're able to influence our minds and like brainwash us, which is absolutely correct. That's what we're talking about, AJ. And believing what to present to you 24/7. I feel like they can impact people on views and their own creativity minds, which I believe that is absolutely correct. Uncle Brian says the algorithms on all social media is not controlled by man. The algorithm control what you can and can't say, and it controls itself. Absolutely. So, but you can manipulate
Right.
algorithm.
Right.
You
Right.
know,
Absolutely.
so it may not be 100% control, but you can manipulate. And that's what we, when you have that much control over so many different media networks, then it makes it more plausible that whatever your political beliefs are,
Right.
then you're going to pick stuff that sways people to that political
one way or the other. So thanks for that, AJ and Uncle Brian. Okay, back to the top reasons why.
Okay, so why community media matters. Number one, it gives the community a voice.
Right.
Community media centers the lived experience of everyday people, residents, parents, youth, elders, small business owners, whose voices are often missing from the mainstream coverage and conversation.
Right. And that's what made me think about when he's purchased all of these media outlets. That's not going to be a voice for the everyday person. That's not going to be the voice of a teacher. That's not going to be a voice of a single mom. That's not going to be a voice for that veteran that's struggling with something. That's not going to be that. That's going to be capitalism. That's going to be the big business. And, and it's something that we're going to have to be aware of, as those things come down. So that's number two. What's number three?
That's number one.
Number one. Okay.
Number two is it builds trust where traditional media falls short. Local community-based media is familiar, it's accessible, and it's accountable. When listeners know the host, recognize the neighborhoods, and see themselves reflected, trust increases.
Right. I absolutely agree with that. What's the next one?
Number three is it delivers news you can use.
I like that. The community wake up is what you can bring to you. Absolutely. I see you, Richie. Thanks for tuning in with us, family.
So it says community media focuses on actionable information, not just headlines.
And what I like about community media is kind of like us. You're going to see us at Mayfest. You're going to see us at Juneteenth. You're going to see us at Legacy Fest. You're going to see us at Oasis Fresh Market. Then we may get up out of here. You'll see us in Omaha. Right. You'll see us in other places because now you can touch and feel and laugh with those people versus it just being a face on this plush screen of a person that you'll never get a chance to meet or talk to. It's kind of like, I ain't getting too far in this, Damali. Okay. But it's kind of like a mega pastor, and you got 30,000 members. Right. You don't get to feel, touch, and see versus a smaller church where maybe 3 or 4. Now, I'm not trying to say now you go to church where you want. I'm not getting into that. So don't no pastor call us. Exactly. I'm just saying the difference between the two or being at a huge college versus a smaller college. Yes. And it depends on what makes you, if you ever been to a big college and you got 500 people in the classroom in an auditorium, you barely know who your instructor is. But if you go to a smaller like community college or something like that, then you have that one-on-one, which makes it feel a little bit better. And I prefer that.
Yes, absolutely.
That's my preference.
So number 4 is it strengthens civic engagement. Community media explains local policies in plain English. Right. It highlights community meetings and elections. It encourages informed participation. An informed community is a powerful community. Right. Yeah. And so that's what we try to do, on Community Wake Up, is we're going to be bringing in folks that are going to give you the bottom line information that you need, not using great big old words that you don't understand and fly over your head. We want you to get down to the bare bones, the basics of what these topics are all about.
Well, right. And what I like about it too, having a grassroots organization like this is you're going to run into us at Oasis Fresh Market. Right. And you're going to see us at Theater North watching the play with Miss Maybell. You're going to see that. So I think that we're going to have to try to protect that. So for you smaller markets like ours, make sure you hang in there, and stick to it because we can see all that is going on. But you as viewers, then make sure you always tune in, share, and support where you can, like us here.
And support, what support looks like is sharing the video.
That's it.
It's just simply liking the page, sharing the video, telling people about what's going on. And then, like we say, this is our community radio, right? So we want to know what topics you guys want to discuss. Now, once again, we're not bashing nobody. That's not what we're about. We're about information, because we perish as a community for a lack of information. So we want to make sure that we are informed. And then the final one is it preserves culture and community identity. Community media documents local history, cultural traditions, shared struggles and victories. Right. And it becomes a living archive protecting stories that might otherwise be erased or ignored.
Right. Because everything it boils down to who's telling the story. Right. You know what I mean? When you look at, remember when that TV come on, or if you're on any social media, it all boils down to who's telling the story. So I feel like you feel better about the story if you can relate to the person.
Exactly.
So things have to be relatable. Life have to be relatable. But if I got $10 billion and I've been having that all of my life, and you've been working paycheck to paycheck or been through a struggle or something, then my view of the world and what's going on every day is going to be totally different than what your view is. And here's the deal, Damali, that's the majority, of community. The majority of community are not that. What's the billions is only 1%. Or less than 1%. But what about the rest of us?
Exactly. Yeah. What about the rest of us? So right now we're going to take a quick break.
Let's do some of these drops like at the top over there, like the right here. Okay. We're going to take a quick break, y'all. Check out some of these drops we got.
Nat Turner in Jerusalem at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. A powerful two-person drama imagining the final night of Nat Turner. He confronts Thomas R. Gray, the man who recorded his words and helped shape his legacy. Written by Nathan Allen Davis and directed by Keith Daniels. It's the hit stage play, Nat Turner in Jerusalem. Explore faith, resistance, and the cost of telling the truth. Don't miss Nat Turner in Jerusalem, playing at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Liddy Dungeons Theater, February 21st and 22nd. 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. and February 28th and March 1st, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. Get your tickets now for Nat Turner in Jerusalem at TulsaPAC.com or call 918-596-7111. Nat Turner in Jerusalem by Nathan Allen is presented by arrangement on behalf of Samuel French Incorporated.
You know what? It's really not that bad being up at 5 a.m.
Damali, you know what? You're absolutely right. The only thing better is we on 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's the Community Wake Up, our brand new morning show.
Right here on NYCU.FM.
And simulcast on KBOB 89.9 FM.
We got your Black History Trivia.
We got your medical report.
Don't forget the police report.
Your local, national, and international news.
Always the latest on upcoming events.
The Divine Nine and the HBCU check-ins.
And most importantly, we can't do it without you.
And make sure you join us each and every day.
It's the Community Wake Up
with Charles and Damali. Hey, and we are back just like that. That segment of the show was sponsored by the 36th Street North Event Center. Give them a call at 918-200-9046 to book your next event or special occasion. And we back just like Damali. What you think about them drops?
I think the drops are amazing. JB did a phenomenal job. Thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Right. Hey, we got a couple thousand people on. We appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, local, national, international. It's the Community Wake Up with Charles and
Damali.
We live Monday through Friday right here for you guys. So make sure you tune in. Tell all your friends. Share the live video because we're going to be getting down to the news that you can use.
Absolutely. So another segment that we're going to be touching on is health and wellness.
Man.
Now, we've had Dr. Andre Ferdue on our show for the last 6 years.
Right.
And he has done a phenomenal job helping us to get healthy.
Right.
So we want to amp that up a little bit in 2026. And so we're going to start doing health challenges.
Y'all ready for that? Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. I am ready. So what we're going to start doing is what we want to do is give the health challenge, right. And then you're going to be able to rent merchandise.
Right.
So you'll be able to win merch. And what we want to do is to be able to hold each other accountable. There are some programs that I recently found out in community that I did not know about for people who are diabetic, right, or who have high blood pressure issues. There are some free gyms that you can go to that I didn't even know about.
Right.
So we're going to be sharing that information with you. They have some free programming. We're going to be sharing that as well, so that we can try to get our community healthy and get our summer bodies ready.
Just like that. And I'll say this one thing, it's kicking off the year, and this is what happens every year. Everybody want to get healthier.
Yep.
Everybody always say that, but the problem is that only lasts about 2-3 weeks. Yep. So we got to find a way to extend that, so you can really obtain those goals, because it's one of those things, y'all. It's one thing for your mind to say it, but where's that discipline gonna come in to be able to stick with it? Because you're saying the right, health is wealth. And when you hear about in our community, so many people passing away, how many deaths did you hear about in 2025? It was like almost unbearable, the amount of heart attacks and strokes and all that stuff that was going on. So in 2026, here on the Community Wake Up, our goal is to create some challenges, some situations where we can address and do a little bit better in that area. Because like the doctors say, Damali, 80% of heart attacks and strokes are preventable by simple everyday stuff. And we're going to make sure we get you those simple everyday things and techniques that can make your lifestyle and your livelihood a lot better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want to hone in on a point that you just made. When we talk about New Year's resolutions, 60% of people say they want to get healthy or they want to get fit.
Man, 60%?
60%.
You know what that says?
What's that?
Most people want to.
Yeah.
They say it. But you know what, Damali, to be honest, saying and doing, you know why? Because we are creatures of habit. That's what we got to always remember is what you do, even when your mind don't want to do it. Let me tell you, like, I had peach cobbler yesterday. See, in my mind, I was going to stay away from peach cobbler. But in my heart and in my belly, what happened was it just went to work because guess what? My habit is when I eat peach cobbler, I put some ice cream on it with some caramel on it. I'm making it worse and worse, right?
It is worse.
But if you can relate to that, see, my issue is sweets, Damali. What is your thing that challenges you when it comes down to being healthy?
What challenges me is I eat late.
Oh,
so
man.
Eating late and then going to bed on it, that's not good. Right. So I'm trying to get into the habit, and actually I've been doing really good. So I've been trying to eat all of my meals before 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, no more eating.
I think what you did was really good, Damali. You used to post your blood pressure numbers.
I did.
And you would be in the gym and all that. So I think when you was doing it, it's like you had a whole following, you know, but then you made a left on the trail. Where did you go? Are you coming back or you just,
So I'm coming back. I'm
you on the way back?
So that's going to be as part of health and wellness.
Right.
I will be posting my blood pressure. When I get to the gym, I ain't gonna show y'all my workout, but
a little bit.
I'm gonna let y'all know that I'm in the gym. How about that?
Like that. Yeah. But when they say health is wealth, what it makes me think about, Damali, man, a lot of times you work on these jobs and they're extremely stressful. You could be a person that have to sit down most of the time. So you're just kind of sitting there and working and you got your Dr. Pepper or your Pepsi, whatever you drink on one side, the bag of chips. You're just trying to stay awake, snacking and all of that.
Right.
But we got to find a way to make them adjustments where maybe you can still get you some water in there, right? You can cut up you some apples. Let me tell you something. Give me some country grapes from Oasis.
Boy,
shout out to Oasis and AJ.
Some
grapes and strawberry. Let's just try to find a way to make some minor adjustments because that goes a part of that 80% of things being preventable. So what are some of your tips before we go to the regular tips? Because we keep it real with y'all that Damali do so that she can be a little bit more healthy.
Some of the things I do is one, I started eating half of my meals.
That's good.
Because I think that sometimes in this country, we eat too much food. Right. I mean, just being honest. And so when I go out to a restaurant, I just automatically tell them, well, you just bring me a to-go box.
Right.
And then I just cut my meal in half and, take half of it for later. And I just eat, half of my meal because, I'm trying to eat to stay alive.
Let me tell you something that helped me to look at the way I eat and when I eat and how I eat as a whole. Took a trip to Africa.
Yes.
Took a trip to Africa, y'all. Man, there's something about going to the motherland.
Absolutely.
And we still talking about health is wealth. But when you talk about some healthy people, and when I got to Africa, where the fat people at? Where the fat people at? And I'm not talking about, it's not like they show news and media where you skinny with your rib cage out. No, these brothers 12 pack, cut, the sisters fit, everybody's fit, but they don't eat like we eat. They don't consume as much. And I think that
too is because they grow everything too.
That's another big part of it too. What you grow, Damali? You grow anything?
I grew some tomatoes one time.
So they living off the land. The difference in Africa versus here, when we were there, and we're not going to, we talking about where the health is wealth. And we talking about a different country, the motherland. Right. But when we would say, they would say, what do y'all want to eat, my friend? Shout out to some of our people from Uganda. I know they own. Yeah. Then you would tell them what you want to eat. So if you say you wanted fish, guess what? They go fishing.
Exactly.
If you say you want pineapple, they go cut the pineapple off the tree.
And they are amazing.
And if you say you want some beans, they go get the beans, shake them off and start cleaning them. If you say, so whatever you say that you want, if you want some sweet to drink, they go get your sugar cane and make you some sweet. So I was thinking this meal got to be a little different because in America, you drink and eat. And after you eat, you be like, ooh, what is that? You know what I'm saying? You know how you eat.
And you know what? That's another thing I noticed too.
What?
We in America consume more sugar. Processed sugar than
processed sugar. See, they with the sugar cane, we don't really know what we eat. But that's not the point. But I'm just saying, when you live off the land, and got that green thumb. I don't have it. Then I think that does make your quality of life better. And like you say, and you can eat more of their food because they eat, it be a whole spread, but it's fruits and it's vegetables and it's fresh meat. And the chicken, our chicken's too big.
Right.
The chicken, our chicken, I got a chicken. I'm like, that is not a chicken's leg. That is not a thigh. That's the thigh of a wildebeest.
Right.
No, I'm not. No, I'm just saying, have you got, I'm not going to name the places because I don't want nobody calling it. I'm just saying, are the chicken legs not too big? Do you ever think that, do you ever look and go?
I've seen some wings that I was like.
I say, I'm going to go and send that back. It's some
steroid
steroids. That's a steroid wing right there. That ain't no regular wing. So y'all be careful. If a wing is too big, and I know you already got your Louisiana hot sauce out and all that. I understand. But if the wing is the size of your arm, you might not want to eat that wing. Because I went to Africa and we was eating chicken and I was like, man, and it tastes different.
Yes.
And it feels different. Yes. And man, you come back from Africa, you go run you a little 5K right quick.
Yeah.
You know, feel totally different. And look, and you can see. I was in Africa about 3 days and I started looking. I'm like, yeah, I can see further. I can hear better. So y'all be careful with all this different stuff we eat. That's all we saying, y'all. You know we love y'all. But anyway, back to health as well.
Absolutely. Anna Marie Baker said juicing.
Juicing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I've never been a juicer. I've never like really figured out like how to, but I'm gonna do better.
Get the juice machine. But here's the thing. That's different when you go to some of these places. We try not to mention spots because we got thousands of people on local, national, international. We don't want to stop before we get started because somebody got mad. But when you go get some of these smoothies and stuff from other places, remember, y'all, they dumping a lot of sugar in there. So even though they doing the banana and strawberries and all that, but to have you hooked on it, they be dumping that sugar. I seen them making. I was like, hey, I thought this was supposed to be some natural juice. And now you dumping sugar in it, so you defeating the whole program. Now you don't went from diabetes really to diabetical. Right. What they say, diabetical.
Diabetical.
We don't want that.
So basically, what we want to encourage everybody to do is to get your numbers together, so that when we start, you can be involved in the activities and the things that are happening in the community. And I'm just gonna tell y'all, we are off of the 36th Street North corridor.
Right.
And there are some great things. I'm talking about if you like doing 5K runs, there's some of those types of things that are happening. There's bike clubs that are happening. There's yoga in the park that's happening. I'm telling y'all, there's a lot of great things that are going to be happening on the 36th Street North corridor. So we're going to be bringing that information to you so that you guys can participate, because health is wealth. And I think if we do it communally and we are holding each other accountable, then some of us, because what they say, so this is February, they say 43%.
Oh, hold on. Now we're going back to the New Year resolution thing. So we just in February. So let's go back. So you said 60%. Let's get back to the resolution. Okay. So 60% of people plan to do better with their health.
60% plan to do better.
But what happens with that 60%? That's the question.
What happens is by the end of January, 23% quit.
Wow. So that's like a third already. Within 30 days.
Within 30 days.
You know, so that's, and you know what I think is you're just getting back into your normal routine. You know, you started something new and then you kind of
fired up.
You was fired up and you was going, but that soreness kicked in. Isn't that the worst part of working out? It's the soreness you can't get, because you got to give at least 2 weeks to get the soreness out. But once you get the soreness out and it becomes a habit, you start seeing results, your clothes start fitting better, people start going, ooh, look at you. Now that's what gets people motivated and keep them going. But if you don't get that in time, so 23% in 30 days in the first month, they out of there.
So by the end of February, and y'all know February only got 28 days in it most years, 43% quit.
So is that everybody? Well, you said 20 and then you put that with 40. That means that whole 60 is wiped out. So DAMALI, and we getting into what self-discipline is now. So it's saying at best, when the 60% want to go within 2 months, even before springtime comes.
Before spring.
Yeah, right after, you know, you done ate all that Valentine's Day candy. That's probably what kills it, the Valentine's Day candy. All them strawberries with the chocolate on it, and all that. So, but anyway, we're going to find a way to keep y'all. Let me say some tips that I think you can do. I know sometimes if you work at a hospital and things like that, it's difficult. You know, it gets stressful, things get busy, but taking the stairs instead of taking the elevator. Something you can do. If you at work and maybe the place you want to get some food is a few blocks away, maybe instead of taking your car or shuttle or Uber, walk down.
You know, I used to do that when I worked downtown.
Walk to
for lunch. I would just go walk And
Right.
just, I would walk and go get something to eat, something
Right.
light, like a salad or something, and then walk back. Or I was a courthouse runner.
Right.
And so instead of getting in my car and driving to the courthouse, I would just walk.
Because I'm thinking about this. Think about when we were younger and healthier. You might eat, but right after you finish eating, what is it time to do?
Go to sleep.
Nope, go back outside. So that's what grown people do. But with kids, when you're younger, you eat lunch, you eat something, you come in for lunch, in for lunch.
True.
You sit down,
right.
everybody just think about a little, you go back. This is what we used to do. We eat lunch and stuff together. And right after we finish eating, we back playing basketball.
Yep.
We swimming, we running, we riding bikes, and we gone until dinner time. Now with a lot of time, the kids run downstairs, eat a whole lot of food, and plus they add some honey buns and all the sugary stuff to it. And then they go back to the video game. And then you wonder why these kids at 21 are diabetic.
Right.
At 21, kids having heart attacks. At 21, kids who has high blood pressure at 21.
Yes.
It should be against the law to have high blood pressure at 21. But it's happening in my mind because of that. But we somewhat responsible though, Damali.
Oh yeah.
Because sometimes we came up tough, so we want to give our kids all of what they wanted and all of what they needed. So sitting up playing Call of Duty, they want to go to work. I bought my kids to Call of Duty, and then all that is good.
Yeah.
But now everybody 50 pounds overweight.
Right. Exactly.
So we got to find a way to get them out to the house, back to the park, back to visiting somebody, back to riding bikes and some of those things. So we want to make sure we get a lot more healthy. You want to go back to the live? Anna said, I got you, sis. I'm doing it now. Right there. What Uncle Brian, he had a mess with Uncle Brian.
Uncle Brian, what does Uncle Brian say? Let me pull it up here. The preservatives that are injected into everything we consume is our downfall. We have to do better about what we put into our bodies. High fructose corn syrup is what people are using to sweeten our food and drink over sugar.
So at this point, it's crack. You know what I mean? At this point, it's crack, Damali. At this point, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Because you get something and it's almost addictive. People want to fight. People want to fight over. Remember the Chick-fil-A sandwich came out?
Oh my God.
People lining up, people fighting, shooting at folks, throwing stuff because they want a piece of chicken.
It's a chicken sandwich.
Who going to jail for a piece of chicken?
I'm not.
We don't need that. But here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. It got to be something extra. So I'm saying, I'm agreeing with you, Uncle Brian, for the first time ever in 2026. I'm going to agree with you that it got to be some extra for you to do all that for a piece of chicken or something like that. And these kids, you give these kids some food, and I'm telling you, these kids will sprint across your ceiling, run all on the roof, and you be like, it's something. So I think taking some time to get a little bit of a green thumb. Anybody can grow some watermelon. Maybe I'm saying I'm from the country, but if you can get a little bit of the green thumb going on, I think it would pay dividends. Or go visit your family that lives in the country that do make it happen.
Country living, because they definitely are doing that.
All right.
Well, we can go visit your cousin. She is the gardening realtor.
Yeah, she got an event coming up soon too. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit more about that later. But the doc will be back in. So even though we're on the Community Wake Up with Charles and Damali, Dr. Andre Furdu will be back with the medical report. Man, congratulations to him. He's now the president over there at Hillcrest over all that neurosurgery, neurology. Spot on. I said a whole nother word. So you stay in your lane. But anyway, he will be back. He's excited about coming back. He's been with us for over 5 years, so he will be coming live in studio. I'm excited about it. So for this month, Black History Month, y'all just gonna get Charles and Damali. But start next month, we're gonna have a doc back in, Lieutenant Sanders back in, a lot of community leaders. We got the mayor coming in, a council person, senator, state representative, teachers, OASIS. We got a lot of people that's gonna be pulling up on the Wake Up. And we're excited about it.
Absolutely. So let me tell you, our theme for today is legacy and purpose.
I like that.
And so we're going to talk about that for a little bit. It's 10 past the hour. So we're going to talk about legacy and purpose. And I'm really excited because it's 36 degrees right now.
Yeah, it's warming up. I'm watching it. I'm watching it come on up.
Yeah, it's coming on. Yeah, thank you, Lord. I appreciate you. So legacy and purpose. We're going to talk about that for a little bit because I think sometimes we have to remind ourselves, right, that we have a duty.
Yeah, and I'm actually all on the live. When you think about legacy and purpose on the live, we got some people in Arkansas, Texas, of course, Dallas, St. Louis. We got a lot of people on Mississippi. When you think about legacy and purpose, what do you think about as we read what we think about when we think in terms of legacy and purpose?
So as it relates to community, why legacy is important is, one, it protects what the community has fought for.
Man, I like, yeah.
Right. It says community legacy honors the sacrifices, resilience, and progress made by those who came before us. It ensures our struggles weren't in vain and that hard-won gains aren't erased or forgotten. Legacy says we remember, we respect, and we continue.
You know what, I like that, Damali, but as you was reading that, let me tell you what it makes me think about.
What's that?
Is right now all of that is under attack.
Absolutely.
You know, what our ancestors built, what our great-grandparents or parents, depends on how old you are, built, all those things are under attack right now. All the civil rights leaders, all the foot soldiers, all of that work that was put in to help our lives be better, all the lives that was lost. That's what you're talking about right now. Those things are under attack, you know. So it's one thing to say it, it's another thing that we got to figure out what we're gonna do about that. You know what I mean? Because we got to find a way to make our mark. They made our mark to make our lives better.
Right.
I don't take for granted we on the radio talking. I don't take for granted we can go and do the things and have the freedoms that we have.
Right.
But we got to find a way to protect that. But what does it make you think about, Damali, when you hear a legacy, you know, and purpose?
Well, I think that legacy, once again, it should remind us of who fought for us and what their struggle was, right? But then we also should be thinking about our grandchildren,
right,
our great grands, you know, and those generations that are going to be coming after us,
right?
Because we're not going to be here always. So we need to be creating a footprint or a blueprint for the next generations to follow, for them to, and not necessarily follow in that sense, but here's a blueprint for you to get started with,
right?
But then you make it better. You know what I'm saying? Because technology is going to change. You know, the way we live is going to change. So you're just making better what's already, you know, put before you.
Right.
So that's what I think about. And I think that this is a perfect time to talk about that because this is Black History Month.
Absolutely.
And our Black history is trying to be erased.
Right. But when I think about legacy, then I also think about family. And I think we can lose our legacy just within our family. What our own great grandparents and parents and things that did for us, you can lose that as well. You know, and that's where when you forget what they did, Damali, I feel like that's where the disrespect can come in from your grandkids. That's where you can get when you see a kid cussing out their parents, cussing out their grandparents, being so disrespectful. I think because we're not still helping them to understand the sacrifice. You don't understand what grandma went through for you to have what you have, or grandpa. So when you just be honorary and feel like I can just cuss you out and do this and do that, to me, that's the disconnect from not maybe teaching that legacy thing, not just at home, but at school and wherever you are. You know what I mean? You look like, think about us, Damali, you know, and we age ourselves a little bit. Did you ever cuss around grown folks?
Oh no.
I was scared.
Oh no.
We were scared of the older people. We like,
because what you knew is you were gonna get in trouble then and there. Then they was gonna tell your mama, and your mama was gonna get you. And then don't mess up and let mama tell grandma.
And you know what? And we don't even do it right now.
Yeah.
And we are not 50, so we got to find a way to be like if you were not now, when they went away, we might have a few choices when it's just us. But if we see Grandma Hattie coming, we be like, hey, that's Uncle. That's Papa. Shh, hey, how you doing, sir? Hey, Miss Johnson. Hey, how y'all doing today? The respect, you know, it was there. And now, Damali, what I find is a lot of times, which I hope Community Wake Up can help with this. People be like, man, I'm scared of them youngsters, them YNs. I'm scared of them YNs, crazy. No, I see them on the corner. So how are we going to make it in the world if our seasoned people that have made it are afraid of the kids that they're supposed to impart into? Damali, how do we make it if we have that divide? I don't know. I survived because all the older people that I could sit with and eat the orange slices and the pecans. I can remember the hard candy. Look, when we was in church, they had a little bag, you know, peppermints and all that kind of stuff. But what are we going to do now when our seniors are afraid of our kids?
Absolutely.
You know, so Damali, it's some way, somehow we got to change that. I'm going to tell you what I do.
What's that?
I believe because of social media and phones and all this technology, the social part of life of just laughing and talking has gone away. You know, because we run a youth and family fun center, Damali, and we would have youth in there, and you could come into a room and there's 50 youth in there and it'd be dead silent. You know why? Because everybody's on their phone on social
Their
media.
thumbs are going.
Boy, when we was little, if 5 of us was in the room, you would think we was turning the house down.
Right.
Because we running, playing, jumping.
Don't you remember when we were coming up as kids, when it got quiet, they'd be like, uh-oh, something's wrong.
The problem
What they doing?
Hey, what y'all doing in there?
Because y'all too quiet.
As long as it's noisy,
Yeah.
it's no problem. But if it get quiet, then that would be the problem.
Yeah.
But now we want to find a way. And so that's why when we do our, speaking of that, and we'll get into that later, our spring break camp, that's why it's called Unplugged. Because we bring kids and you can't have no phone, you can't have no iPad, and you should see the benefit that the kids get. By the time they are done with spring break in 1 week, these kids are crying because they built some social. You know, you're going to get out here and we're going to sack race. You know, we're going to get out here and run and do, we're going to make y'all interact with each other, you know, in a different kind of way. So we're just saying that to say when we talk about legacy, what are some of the things that we can do to build a stronger legacy so that we do not forget the shoulders that we're standing on?
Pearlie Newton says, teaching and modeling. You got to practice what you preach. Ain't that a song? Yeah.
Man, you got to practice
Very
what
white.
you preach. Right. Because you're absolutely right.
Yes.
Yeah. Teaching and modeling, meaning what you teach and is what you show. And I know that's not always easy because sometimes growing up, they say, what, do what don't do what I tell you to do and don't something, you know, they smoking.
Do as I say, but not as I do. Yeah, that's it.
And what did you used to think about? You say,
like,
do as I say, but not as I do. Bring me a drink. Now, see, that is not going to work. Do what I say, not as I do. Bring me something to smoke. Right. You know, so cousin, I totally agree. Teaching and modeling, because here's the thing, parents or grandparents or whomever, sometimes you might be struggling with something. Yeah. It is what it is. We're human. But maybe not just do that right in front of everybody. Because, you know, sometimes growing up, we don't smoke, but we in the car and everybody smoking in the car. We in the back seat, eyes burning. Yeah. We sitting coughing, secondhand smoke, you know, and us as young people can remember that. So some of our parents, we still love y'all. Both of mine are going home to be with the Lord. But nevertheless, when you used to be in the house and people smoking in your house and smoking in the car, you got to respect everybody's space. Absolutely. You know, if you know you got to smoke, if you're a smoker, I wish you would not, but it is what it is. Take that thing outside. Because who needs to die of cancer from secondhand smoke? Because you decided to smoke and do these things around your kids. I can't even, Damali, go into a house where people smoke. I know. The nicotine come through the wall and be like, we are here to attack. And it cracks me up because people are like, I mean, when I walk into someone's home, and I can tell immediately, like, oh, they're a smoker. Right. And, you know, they think that their house is, you know, because they smell the smoke all the time. Right. But, you know, if you're a non-smoker and you walk in, you're like, ooh, you know. So yeah, you know, just being more mindful. Another thing, number 2, legacy provides direction for the next generation, which is kind of what I was alluding to. Right. When young people understand their community's stories, they gain identity, pride, and purpose. So it's very important for us to share our oral history. Right. Oral history is super important. And I realized that when we went to Israel. Right. We went to Israel and our tour guide, how many generations could he go? Like 100 and some generations. Crazy. It shocked me. Your guy said the same thing. Yeah. I don't want to tell your story. Person. Go ahead. Yeah, we had the same purpose. Yeah, so he riding and we doing the tour. He's going around. And then he was like, well, Charles, how many generations in your family can you remember or that you celebrate? And I was like, okay, I know my parents and my grandparents and my great-grandparents. 2. He was like, oh, it was a crazy, like 130 generations. And I'm talking about by name, where they was located, what they did, their area of expertise, how they lived off the land. And I was sitting there thinking, I said, I do not feel good right now. Exactly. How are you going to know 130 generations? And I only know up to my great-grandparents. And guess what? A lot of people don't even know that. It's oral history. Oral history is important. That is something that we were robbed of when we were brought to this country. Right. And so we stopped sharing the stories because we could get beat and whipped and hanged for that. Right. And so we stopped sharing those stories. But that is how you understand and know the pride of your family. Exactly. But here's the thing. It's still a responsibility. Correct. So the question is, as a community, as us listening on this live, what are we doing to be able to secure it? I can say what I'm doing. I did my African ancestry. I had to do it. So at this point, I know my mom and dad's side are both Ghana and the Alcon tribe. I know that. I did enough research up to 5 generations. I'm up from 2 to 5. And we are now the Finches, and I know we came into Mississippi. So right now, all I need to find is who got off the ship and who was sold to slavery. And then my last name is Harper. It makes me think about Harper Valley PTA. No, I'm just saying there's a lot of Harperville stuff out here all over. So I know, see, we know, I know I'm not a Harper. I know I'm something else.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I am a Harper at this point because that's all I've been for my 50-something years.
Right.
But what I did is I did my African ancestry. I got my mom and dad, and that's the gift I gave to my kids. Because now I can tell y'all 5 generations I'm a gap it, and then what I want to do is road map everything. I feel like that's the greatest gift I can give to my kids and grandkids is who you are, where we from, how we navigated, and how we got here. What can be more valuable than understanding that and understanding from your genetics, your DNA, what are you good at?
Exactly.
You way over here trying to be an engineer when really medical is what our family do. That's why I feel like I'm gonna pass you the mic back. We end up in a lot of jobs that feel like a job. You know what? Because you went to school, now you're doing something you really don't like. You just going because you gotta pay. But they say if you find something that you love, you never
work a day in your life.
And I want to get to that.
Yes. And no, and it's very interesting that you say that because sometimes what's locked in our DNA is who we are as a person. Like, and so an example, myself, I'm real crafty. I like making stuff, like I'll, imagine something, then I just start thinking about ways I can create it with my hands.
Right.
Come to find out, our family comes from Cameroon when I did my African ancestry.
Right.
And what are Cameroonian people? They're artists.
Right.
They're creators. Creatives. That's what they do.
Right.
So that's what's locked in my DNA. Because if I think about like my grandma didn't do that, so some of the people in my family that I know, I'm like, none of them are crafty, none of them, but I am. So sometimes it's locked in your DNA. You just have to unlock the door. Right. And so, telling these oral histories and these oral stories, what it says here is a strong legacy helps them see themselves, when we're talking about the next generation, helps them see themselves as not just survivors, but as stewards, builders, and leaders of what comes next.
Right.
I love
absolutely.
that.
I agree with that. And here's another thing is I feel like DNA and your genetics and things like that are critically important because look, most people that know me, I didn't grow up around my dad. I remember seeing my dad once in the 6th grade.
Right.
But as I grew and got older, when I run into people, they were like, you act just like your dad. So after my dad passed away, and I'm just going to show them what DNA, I found out my dad, guess what, worked with kids for 20 years. And then what am I doing? Running the Youth and Family Fund Center, working with kids. I'm just saying what DNA. When I did my African ancestry, and some people, that stuff ain't true, don't worry about that. But when I went back to the Alcon tribe, guess what I learned?
What?
They were people that's good physical fit.
Yep, that's you.
They ain't want to listen to nobody.
That's you.
Don't embellish. They ain't want to listen to nobody. We were the ones that they couldn't really enslave us. We fighting the master, run chasing the master. We done forgot who's supposed to be the slave and who the master. We the master, And also business.
Yes.
So entrepreneurship and business and dancing and all of that. So when people know me, if you say entrepreneurship, dancing, kind of bullheaded a little bit and all that stuff, that's in my DNA, But see, if I already knew these things, then when I come up, I wouldn't have had to stumble up on the pastor saying, see, that's what the spiritual thing. Because pastor said, the Lord says, you're supposed to help me with the Youth and Family Fund Center. And I just got it from the Lord. I didn't get it from me just knowing my history and what's in my DNA, because I could have been doing this at 21. I didn't have to wait till I was 30 something to get into the space.
Well, so this is the other thing. Another point. Legacy turns short-term wins into long-term impact.
Right.
It says programs end, grants expire, leaders change. Legacy is what remains. By intentionally building systems, which you talk about all the time, institutions and stories, communities move from momentum to sustainability.
Just like
and
that.
That's what we've got to get to. And that was the blueprint of Black Wall Street here in our community. They were sustainable because they were intentional about what it is that they were doing and creating legacy for the next generations to come.
With that being said, can we pause just to give a huge shout out to Black Wall Street?
Yes.
I know we're a little bit removed from the centennial and all of that good stuff, but at the end of the day, we live on KBOB 89.9 FM that's located on Black Wall Street, right off Lansing, where a lot of those businesses were. And Damali, we giving a shout out because no matter where we travel in the country, people stand up and applaud Black Wall Street because it was the blueprint. it is where everybody went for a refuge to be able to get into business, to be protected and all of that. And of course that was taken away, but we're going to do a new thing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We're going to do a new thing.
New thing is coming.
All right, let's go to the
all
live.
right. AJ said on his mother's side of the family, one of his uncles went to his grandmother after his grandfather passed, and his uncle convinced his grandmother to sign over 120 acres of land over to another man for a measly $10,000 to get his uncle out of debt due to him being a gambler. That legacy of the family is done because of his uncle. He said, my grandmother was the type of woman who would do anything for her children and grandchildren, and that happens a lot in families. But I think that maybe, just maybe,
right.
Now, I don't know because I don't have an addictive personality. Thank the Lord for that. But, addiction is tough.
Right.
But maybe, just maybe, if there had been oral conversations about where the family came from, maybe then the legacy, you would feel a sense of accountability. Right. Or responsibility. And you wouldn't want to do that to your family. I don't know. Because like I said, I don't have that addictive personality. But, if we're sharing these stories and passing them forward, then, to me, I would feel like, man, I can't do this to my family.
I can tell you this, this is what it makes me think about. We all been young. Mm-hmm. We've all made mistakes. But DAMALI, I can vividly go back and remember friends I had that just the love of grandparents, right? They get into trouble and they in jail. And man, I just watch grandparents after grandparent after grandparent put up their house.
Yeah.
For their grandson or granddaughter to get out, put their house up. Think about that, DAMALI. They life earnings, they sign. And then here's the thing, it's such a disconnect from what the family history is. They're not even valuing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, because this is me growing up in my generation. I'm not naming nobody, but they get out and guess what they do, DAMALI? They go right back to doing the same old thing. Stuff. They don't go back to court. And guess what happens to your family legacy, the home that they spent all that time building?
Gone.
It's gone and you lose it. But it goes to your point. If you didn't get a chance to sit and talk about that legacy, to talk about what it is or what it means, then you can miss it. But imagine a grandparent still being willing, because when they're looking at you, guess what they're looking at? They're looking at themselves. So they're willing to put up whatever they have to hope you get it. So that you can go on. So I'm hoping we can do better with that, as we go forward. DAMALI, we're getting really close to the bottom of the hour.
We are. So we got two more points.
Okay.
And then we'll
take a quick break. Let y'all hear some more of these commercials and then we'll come back. Okay.
Okay. So number 4 is legacy anchors values in action. Right. Community legacy is not just what we say. We prove our values through schools we preserve.
Right.
Which you're going to be doing that.
Hey, I'll be down in Arkansas this weekend.
Yes. Businesses we grow, media we control.
Right.
We've been talking about that, and spaces we protect.
Girl, you got to read all of them one more time. You hit me in my spirit. Say, just read them. Okay.
Okay. So legacy anchors values in action. Community legacy is not just what we say. We prove our value through schools we preserve.
Right.
Businesses we grow, media we control, and spaces we protect.
Can I do this?
Yes.
Like you said, I'll be going to Arkansas to speak about our first Black school that we had, because a lot of times I think people forget that schools were segregated. It seemed like when we tell our young kids that nowadays, they feel like that was back in slavery day. It don't go back that far. We just going back to like the late 60s. Yeah. It's kind of right in the late 60s when we were still segregated. Man, that's not even that long ago, to be honest. Now it's before I was born, but still. We had our own school. It was a Black school before segregation, and it was a lot to put that together. But anyway, my thought is you lose that, because I feel like when it was just only us in our own school, we had to address all of these issues and situations.
Right.
And I think, imagine when we decided to come together, then we were like unwelcome. So think about how that, to me, chipped away from who we are.
Right.
How we was built, our self-esteem and all of those things, just to be able to merge together. But anyway, we got to find a way to preserve that, to talk about those things, because if not, our younger generation don't know anything about that.
Right. Okay. And lastly, number 5, it says legacy strengthens collective ownership. We've been talking about that. Right. So legacy reminds people that they are part of something bigger than themselves. It builds shared responsibility. This is ours to protect, grow, and pass on. The sense of ownership fuels engagement and accountability. That's what we say even about this radio show.
Right.
Yeah, Charles and I, we're the face
Right.
of the community wake up, but this is the community's radio show, right?
Right.
We want the community to be involved. We want the community to send us some stories. Let us know what's happening in your community.
Right.
There may be something great going on in Washington, D.C., Dallas, Texas.
Right.
The programs that other communities can benefit from.
Right.
We need to get to a place where we're not trying to always reinvent the wheel. Sometimes some of the same simple stuff that we used to do works just fine.
Right. And let's work together, because collaborations are going to always work over competition. Let's stop trying to compete with each other. We right now, you see the churches can barely get along. This pastor don't talk to that pastor. Be like, now y'all both speak. Y'all talking to the same Jesus, the same Lord. I mean, how? So y'all not gonna get along. So now your congregants can't get along. Your mean mug won't fight. Come on, y'all. In 2026, I used to love when we were younger in churches. It'd be 7, 8 churches together. All the youth get to play together. And then food. I'll be excited about the food and the cupcakes. Come together and have a good time. So pastors, our leaders, y'all start. We would love to see the pastors get back together again, and not be like, I don't want you, don't talk to none of my people in my congregation and all of that. Look, we all need Jesus.
Amen.
No matter if you give it to us, him, let's just be a community.
Yeah.
That's what community is.
So Uncle Brian says we are the shining light on the hill, meaning, you were talking about Black Wall Street before.
Right.
And he said, so we have to be the go-to for all information we need to thrive and prosper. So correct. Miss Pearlie said, looking forward to your visit. We need you to keep it real.
I'm gonna keep it real, cousin. I'm gonna keep it real.
Brian says again, we have to be our own sanctuary for everything we need to survive and thrive.
Right.
And Miss Pearlie says lots of jealousy in the pulpit. Ain't that it?
That's what I was saying,
what are we
cousin.
jealous about?
Yeah, but and it shouldn't be that way. And the question is, how do we take the Bible and then that come out of it? You got the Bible in your hand. So where's jealousy and envy coming when we got the Bible with us?
It talks about those are the things that we're not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because jealousy and envy. So
we're gonna do better.
Yeah. So the bottom line is community legacy matters because communities don't just need resources, they need roots. When legacy is intentional, communities don't just survive change, they shape it.
That's what I'm talking about. You dropping bars and nuggets.
Yes, dropping bars. So let's see. It is 33 after the hour. 27 before the end of our show.
Before the end of our first show. Let's go to a couple of hour drops and some of the people that has been sponsoring our show that we appreciate, and then we'll come right back.
We don't just make history, we honor it. It's time for your Black History Moment on the Community Wake Up. Theater North Tulsa presents Nat Turner in Jerusalem at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center. A powerful two-person drama imagining the final night of Nat Turner as he confronts Thomas R. Gray, the man who recorded his word and helped shape his legacy. Written by Nathan Allen Davis and directed by Keith Daniels. It's the hit stage play Nat Turner in Jerusalem. Explore faith, resistance, and the cost of telling the truth. Don't miss Nat Turner in Jerusalem, playing at the Tulsa Performing Arts Center, Liddy Dungeons Theater. February 21st and 22nd, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. And February 28th and March 1st, 8 o'clock and 3 p.m. Get your tickets now for Nat Turner in Jerusalem at TulsaPAC.com or call 918-596-7111. Nat Turner in Jerusalem by Nathan Allen is presented by arrangement on behalf of Samuel French Incorporated.
You know what? It's really not that bad being up at 5 a.m.
DAMALI, you know what? You're absolutely right. The only thing better is we on 5 days a week.
7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
It's the Community Wake Up, our brand new morning show.
Right here on NYCU.FM.
And simulcast on KBOB 89.9 FM.
We got your Black History Trivia.
We got your medical report.
Don't forget the police report.
Your local, national, and international news.
Always the latest on upcoming events.
The Divine Nine and HBCU check-ins.
And most importantly, we can't do it without you.
And make sure you join us each and every day.
It's the Community Wake Up
with Charles and DAMALI. It's the Community Wake Up with Charles and DAMALI morning show, and we are back.
We are back, and we have had a great time this morning. Sharing with you guys just, kind of the vision for the Community Wake Up. It's all new, so we're figuring out the kinks and everything, but we're going to work it out. It's going pretty good. I think so.
Yeah. And remember, again, we live on NYCU.FM. We live on Facebook Live on NYCU.FM. Also, World One Development. We're live locally on KBOB 89.9 FM. And we also live on YouTube, the official World One Development news you can use. We in the house, y'all. DAMALI,
yes,
it's been good. That's for our bud Stephen Keys pulled up on us.
Yes,
we appreciate him doing this thing. All sharp. Made me. I was gonna go home and change my shoes. He said, "You see this shine on my shoes?" But anyway, let me go to the live and give some shout outs, man. A lot of people have got on. We woke y'all up this time and we appreciate it. So I'm gonna go to the top. Mr. AJ, he's in here with us.
Hey.
Cousin Pearlie is in the building.
That's right.
You got your mom, my mom
Hey,
on.
mommy.
Cousin Lori, what's going on?
What's
She's in the
up,
building.
cousin?
Anna Marie Baker, y'all.
What's up, sister?
Uncle Bobby Eden, of course, he over there at KBOB.
Yes,
Nothing but
hey,
love. Mississippi in the building with the Maestro Sigalo Jeremiah is in here with us. Brenda Harbin.
Hey,
Thank
Brenda.
you for tuning in. Wyn Harris,
Okay, what's
DJ
up,
Wyn. Brenda Harbin is in there with us as well.
Hey.
We got somebody from all the way around the country, and my boy Sharma is in here.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. He said new show. He put the stars and put the love in the building. We appreciate that. We also have Uncle Brian. He said acknowledge him. He is in here with us. Michael Brewer is in here.
What's
The
up,
Philadelphia Eagles might be at home, but he's still flying high, y'all. I seen him flying the other day. He's gonna give it another thing.
He ain't gonna let it go.
Talissa Archery. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Welcome to the show. We appreciate you for tuning in. Richie Anderson,
What's up, brother?
live in here with us, man. We got people local, national, international, all around the globe. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Click, share. We hitting big stuff. It's a brand new show, The Community Wake Up with Charles and DAMALI. And we're going to go from here to worldwide. Miss Verna Downing Rogers.
Hey.
She said, Happy Black History Month. Angela Goodwin. What's going on, family? I appreciate you tuning in. Natasha Mitchell said, Hey, Charles and DAMALI. Natasha, one of our favorites. Thank you for tuning in. Ashley Grant. She is the counselor with the Cherokee tribe. She's in here with us. District 5 is in here. Thank you so much. She said, congratulations on your very first show and new show. We got a couple thousand on these different platforms, and we are back.
So we are back. So our next segment, we're going to be doing a lot of these, so since we're going to be on 5 days a week, then we just wanted to give you a snippet of what we're going to be doing.
Right.
But then to also you guys start thinking about this because we want to hear about stuff that's happening in your community. So we're going to do a small business spotlight.
Come on, we got to do that.
Yes, and I mean, because there are so many great businesses. So I'll tell you a quick little story. I actually started doing a birthday party about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe about 5 years ago, because we kept hearing, Charles and I, that there were not any Black entrepreneurs doing certain things. And we're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, we own an event center, so we see these folks all the time,
right?
Doing all these different things. So we know that there's bakers and photographers and videographers and, just all of these people doing this great stuff and doing this great work. So what we want to do is we want to spotlight some of these small businesses.
Right.
So if you have small businesses in your community, because we know there's a lot of folks that are on from other places, because Charles and I travel
a lot.
And so when we are in other cities, we want to know about these small businesses that are doing big things in your community.
Especially if you got food. If you got some good food, we want to know about the small soul food spot as well as spaces to shop, So we want to make sure we supporting, so we can support you when we pull up in your city, and you can support us when you pull up in our city.
Got to circulate those dollars.
Got to make them
so
move.
So what today's spotlight is going to be on Sweet Lisa's Cafe.
Sweet Lisa's, yes,
my
indeed.
My good friend Daryl Knox over there and his family, actually located at 111 North Greenwood.
Right.
They're open from 11 o'clock a.m. until 7 o'clock p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. And on Sundays, they're open from 11 o'clock a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m. We're spotlighting Daryl first because he fed us over the weekend.
He fed us over the weekend. When I say he fed us. Now, he gave us some baked chicken to keep us healthy, but gave us some fried chicken because we wanted it, right? We had some mashed potatoes. We had cabbage. We had yams. We had roll, salad, and the peach cobbler. and a strawberry cake was oh so good. So Sweet Lisa's, y'all. And then they do that brunch. They do that breakfast on Saturday. Man, I got the French toast. I like grits. What you like grits? You do cream of wheat.
I'm not really a grits. I'm a cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat type person. But they got all the breakfast stuff. So the eggs with the cheese in it and all of that, you can get that over there. So if you got like a meeting, you know, sometimes you get together on Saturday and you need that brunch thing around 8, 9, then Sweet Lisa's is your spot. So Mr. Darrell Knox, thank you so much, you and your family.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we're going to also be talking about faith, hope, and inspiration.
Right.
Right. And so we're going to be talking about walking into purpose. So let's just touch on that just a little bit. We got about 15 minutes before it's time for us to get off of the air. But walking in purpose, not pressure.
Right. I like that.
We want to talk about when you find your purpose, you stop chasing pressure.
Right.
And you start walking in peace. That's what we are looking for. So why is it important to find your purpose?
I think it's important because if not, you just kind of shuffling through life, you know, and I think the worst thing is to get to the end of your life and be like, man, I am unsatisfied on whatever it is I thought I was supposed to be doing. But I think it's the sooner you can find your purpose, meaning the thing that gets you up and you're excited about doing it and you can do it. And I think in your purpose, it's going to have something to do with serving and helping somebody else. So if you're doing something that's all about you, probably not your purpose. But when you find that thing where God is still going to bless you, but you're operating in that thing that gets you up and you're excited to do it, like the community wake up. I feel like this is part of our purpose because I'm up at 7 in the morning. Anybody know me normally, that normally don't happen most of the time. But anyway, because it's within my purpose, it's worth it. And it's a blessing to other people, you know, so purpose is very important. Because it's just critical to figure that out.
Absolutely. Let me go to the live really quick. And AJ has something he said here. He said, when I was little and all of our schools were Black, we were closer and we looked out for each other. Our teachers were hard on us. And that is the absolute truth. I remember that myself. Our parents and other Black people in our all Black community, every Black student was making all A's. If you made a B and below, you would get a paddling. Now I remember that too. Mr. Chuck McGowan, you know, he would hit us up with that that paddle with them holes drilled in it.
Right.
I ain't never.
I'm gonna show you some love.
Listen. If you, he said you would get a paddling or you would get a leather strap. We just got a paddling. Squats, baby. I remember.
If I'd have saw the leather, AJ, if I'd have saw the leather come out, now at this point I'm gonna run because normally leather got holes in it. When stuff got holes in it, got a whip to it. So now I got a little paddling, but we might have been graduated. Did you see leather? Did you even see the leather?
No,
yeah, we missed the leather, but
I got the wood.
That's why the further you go back, the better people act. The leather, you're like, oh, don't hit me with the leather.
Right.
I'm good already.
But he says, so in his opinion, the A's went to C's, D's, and F's for a lot of Black students. Right. A lot of Black parents are not raising their children by allowing the streets and the negative systems to raise them. He said, I'm extremely concerned about our Black youth in today's society, and I'm sure everyone else just tuned in this morning is extremely concerned as well about our Black youth.
Yeah.
Pearlie said, if you don't know where you are going, you can end up anywhere. Now, ain't that it? That is some bars right there.
That's a bar right there. Yeah, I'm going to put that on a shirt and a hat.
Oh,
if you don't know where you're going, you can end up anywhere. Yeah. It's like right. If you don't plan, then you just plan to fail.
Exactly.
So you got to plan something.
Exactly. So I found a few things about purpose, and we're going to talk about those really quick. It says, why is it important to find your purpose? Number one, purpose provides direction, just like Miss Pearlie Newton said. You end up anywhere, unless you got a purpose. So purpose answers the question why before you decide what to do next. It helps you say yes with clarity and no without guilt.
Right. I like that. I love that. That's great.
When you know your purpose, you stop drifting and you start choosing.
Right.
Ooh. I love that. That is awesome. Number two, purpose anchors you in hard seasons. Man,
that's it.
Ain't that's
because when you're in your purpose, it don't mean you're not going to go through something.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be met with some kind of resistance. Life is about hills and valleys.
Yeah.
It just kind of is what it is. But when you're in purpose, you still got that thing inside you that lets you know I'm still getting to where I'm supposed to go. And some of them hills and valleys, they just building you for the purpose. Right.
So pressure asks you, how fast can you move? But purpose asks, why are you moving at all?
We got the bars now. Come on with the next one.
So when life gets heavy, purpose reminds you that the struggle is connected to something meaningful, not random. Number 3, purpose protects you from comparison and burnout.
I like that.
Without purpose, it's easy to chase other people's timelines, definitions of success, or expectation. Purpose frees you to walk your lane at your pace in your calling.
I like that.
And number 4, purpose aligns faith, gifts, and actions. Purpose brings together what you are gifted to do, what you deeply care about, and what the world actually needs. This alignment creates fulfillment instead of exhaustion.
Right. There you
Okay.
go. We're gonna
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. No, I'm just saying, DAMALI, them some great nuggets because you said faith, purpose, action. Is that what you said
Faith,
in that order?
gifts, and action.
So you got faith, which you know you got to have your faith,
Right.
but then your gifts. You know what I mean? Because now you're operating in your gifts and then your action. Boy, to me, that sounds like a better way to roll down the road. You know what I mean?
So the last one, purpose gives you the courage to be consistent.
Right.
And that's a little bit of what we've learned from this 6 years of actually doing radio is that consistency. So it says motivation comes and goes. Purpose keeps you steady when applause fades or criticism shows up. You don't quit easy when you know why you started.
Right.
Ain't that something? I'm just like, man.
That's the good stuff. That's the good stuff. Okay, man, we only got like another 10 minutes, DAMALI, and man, this has been great. And another big thing, we just want everybody to realize that when we say the community wake up, it's about our entire community. Black, white, green, yellow, all of our different partnerships. We got over 100 partnerships. Like we look at Ashley Grant with Cherokee, we're going to be doing work with them. We're going to be working with Oasis Fresh Market, working with the schools, working with the other community leaders, because we just want to make an impact and then unify and find a way to do it together.
And these are things that we've already been doing. But I think that sometimes you don't know because everybody's kind of in their own silo doing their own thing.
Right.
So this radio show is about amplifying what the great work that people are doing already in community. We want to know what's happening in your neck of the woods so that we can share that forward. And then somebody else might get inspired, you know, to do some of the things that you guys are doing. So tomorrow's theme is going to be voice and visibility.
Voice, which everybody needs a voice.
Yeah.
And then visibility. I like that. I like that.
So we're going to talk about that as the on Fridays. If you have events that are happening that are coming up, we're going to share those events and let you know so that you can get prepared for the next week. We're also going to do birthdays. So birthday shout outs. Won't do those every day. We'll only do them on Fridays, you know, to kind of shout out, but we'll shout out for the week. That's coming.
Now, if you come on the live, then we'll probably give a shout out. But as far as us doing it, we're going to make sure you are equipped with what you need.
Absolutely. So there's just going to be a lot of great things that are going to be happening, a lot of great topics that are going to be coming up. You know, we're going to talk about this AI thing. Another shout out that we need to do, the AI lady.
The AI lady, Miss Ramona Rogers.
If you have been on social media and you have seen our AI videos that have been playing about the community wake up, that is compliments of the AI lady.
Right. Ramona Rogers. She is actually the teacher of the year over at Booker T. Washington High School. So when you see us walking down the street and all downtown and all of that and all the pictures up, all right, Charles and DAMALI, y'all got the AI, bring back. Look, AI is where this world is going.
It absolutely
and so, like you say, on the community wake up, that's part of that, because AI is what it is. A lot of these industries that people are working in, you got to understand AI going to be taking a lot of those jobs, So you don't have to be like, I'm all for AI, but you're going to have an idea of how it works.
Right.
Because you either going to be, AI either going to be giving you a haircut, doing your surgeries, driving these cars, dropping off drones. You got to think about what I'm saying. Those are jobs. You know, the mailman.
That people were doing.
That people was doing. So now you're going to have to now be able to navigate that. So we're going to make sure on the community to wake up that you know those basic things about the AI in the AI world.
There are going to be some meetings that are going to be coming up that we're going to be sharing information about that are going to, you know, for entrepreneurs, right, to be able to come in to get some of those basic skills. We're going to be talking about, you know, one of the things that we say is you need to get a good accountant, a good attorney, and what was the other one? The third one?
CPA.
I would say three. A good CPA.
Accountant and banker.
And a banker.
And what you do is you meet with these people before you start.
Exactly.
Not after you are already done. You get with them before you start. You go meet with a banker, figure out what their capacity, tell them your ideal, have your business plan and what you want to do. So you have that relationship in the beginning. Open your account and you go from there, because then when you need a line of credit or you run into a gym, you have that relationship. Legally, anything can happen at any time. So if you already have that relationship with your attorney, they knew your intent before you even took off, because you can run into stuff. People can try to sue you at any time. You never know what will come up in the business world. And of course, your CPA, we talked about tax season, your taxes and your 1099 and 990s, whatever you're into, then they're going to take care of you in that regards. And people love when they're going to give you a grant.
Yes.
They love to hear you say you have an attorney, a banker, and a CPA, because they know then you're taking care of your business. You're not just trying to do it all yourself, because that's not a good way to go. Natasha said, nice. Appreciate that. Damali, you said another big thing. We're going to be doing workshops at the event center every month, because a lot of times we end up disjointed because people just don't know what's going on. You ain't seen your cousin in a while, your partner, none of that. But here, all the development is going on in our community, things going on in other communities around the country. We're going to be talking about a lot of those things and bringing a lot of those people right here to our event center and doing a lot of those things. So stay tapped in to that. So for-profit, not-for-profit, if you want to be a developer, if you want to figure out how to figure out contracts for the city, local contracts, city contract, government contracts, trademarking, we're going to cover a myriad of things. So that's why you got to make sure you stay tapped into the community Wake Up.
And these workshops are, around the nation. Some folks charge, $10,000, $5,000 for you to attend these workshops. But we're going to be bringing them to our community at a fraction of that cost, right? Because we want to make sure that our community is taken care of as well. And we want to make sure that you know what you need to know so that your business does not fail. Because most small businesses, they fail relatively fast. After you've invested, made these huge investments, and maybe have even used your life savings to start a business. Now the business is over because you didn't do some of the basic fundamentals that you should have done in the beginning to start the business. So we want to make sure to keep you from those pitfalls, and trust and believe. We done been through a lot of the situations that we talking about. So we like, man, if I'd have known that back then I would have done this, and would have done it differently.
And we'll say by Friday, we're probably going to have like a small subscription, that you can subscribe. And because we're going to get a little bit deeper for people that's been out for a while. So by Friday, we'll let you know what that is. And hopefully you can jump in, because we'll do a special for like the first 30 days or something like $1. And after that, maybe we'll kind of break out what it is after that point. But we're just going to allow these detailed service to be provided for you, because my 15, 16 years, Damali 12 years of doing this, you learn a lot from actually doing for-profit and not-for-profit, and we got our own businesses. So I'm excited about the community Wake Up being able to offer those services, local, national, and internationally.
And that'll be coupled with my 25 years worth of service in the legal profession.
Right.
So, there's a lot of things that small businesses have done that I've seen, but you do it out of, it's like, I don't have no other choice. I got to do it this way, but when you learn, when you know better, you do better.
Right.
So we want to get you the knowledge so that you'll know what you need to do, so that you don't have the IRS coming knocking on your door.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Some of these issues happening. Now, everything happening, some situations happen.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. So we're not saying that because we know all this stuff, that stuff don't happen to us, where we might end up being in a situation from time to time, because, life is life. Life be lifing.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, we know that we need to do better. And so because we know that we should be doing better, or we should be doing it in a different way, then we try to hurry up and get out of that situation. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Right. And as we kind of slow down on the show, I know I normally on a Wednesday would be texting all of you guys. I can't do that. So we're going to probably do a poll. I think what I'm going to do is maybe text people on Sunday, just a flyer, and say, tune into the show. I'll do some of those things, because I'm not texting nobody at 5 a.m. I'm not doing that. Wake somebody up. People mad at me, chasing me down the highway.
Right.
We're not going to do that. But what I would like you all to do is share. If you watch today, you like what we're doing, because it's only going to get better and better. Share it with 5 family members and friends. Tune in every day, because it's going to come to a point where I feel like this is where you're going to need to come to make sure you know what's going on, because we have a lot of information. Of course, we ain't going to push everything out today, but we do have a lot of critical information that's coming down the pike in 2026. Yeah. And we're going to make sure our community is going to be informed on those things.
Absolutely. And then finally, because we have 5 minutes. Want to make sure that small businesses know that it is critically important to advertise.
Right.
Gone are the days where word of mouth is going to get you generational wealth.
Right.
It's not going to happen. You're going to have to be visible either with a website or on social media. Really, you need them all.
Right.
But, you're going to have to be visible somewhere. You're not just going to be able to be in your little storefront, and think people are going to just come in just because you put up a sign on the window. That's not going to happen. World One Development, news you can use, the community wake up. That is what we are designed for. KBOB 89.9 FM. Those are all vehicles for you to help get the word out about your particular business, right? And so we want to be able to share with you about how you do those things, how we can meet you where you are.
Right.
People think advertisement is really, really expensive and you can't afford it, when really you can.
Right.
And really you should be building that into your budget. It should be built into your business plan. So we're going to have conversations about that and what that looks like. So just want to, put that out there and let you know that some of those things are going to be coming. We're going to be sharing that in the coming weeks and months ahead about, what you need to do. We'll be bringing on professionals in some of these areas. So you're not just hearing it from Charles and Damali because we think we know what we're talking about.
Because we know what we know and we know what we don't know.
Exactly.
And when you don't know something, you bring somebody in that
bring
do
in the
know.
Professionals. You bring in the big guns.
Yeah. And what I want to do, Damali, man, I just feel so ecstatic before we go for everybody that got up this morning or was already up this morning, but you chose to rock with us, to listen to us for these 2 hours. We winding down toward the end. We down to about 12, other than the secret listeners. We only got about 3 minutes left. But Damali, how appreciative of you for 6 years of everybody supporting our show, supporting us, and supporting what we do.
You know what? I cannot thank you guys enough because, for one, radio was not even on my radar. In order to be able, I never even thought about doing it, just to be honest. And so to be able to get on a platform and people actually listen and care about what it is that you're saying, and they stick with you. I mean, like sometimes our shows have run over in the past, at the other studio, and people are still there listening.
Right.
And so that means a lot. That means that, the gift that, this once again is one of those things where we're talking about, there are gifts inside of you that sometimes you don't even know exist.
Right.
Right. And so for us to be able to pull this gift out, to be able to be on radio and on social media and have the ear of the community and the community rock with us, man, that means just so much.
And another good thing too is I'll say that even when larger markets ask us to to leave and do something else, that we've always chose to just stay here in Tulsa.
Right.
Because the way we look at it, it's about the community.
Yes.
This is not about Charles and Damali. This is about us together. So when these other larger markets say, hey, y'all sure so great, y'all need to come to DC, come to LA, come to Atlanta, then we choose to work together. We choose to be here. We love to be here. And so just know that you listening is valued. Your time is valued. We don't take it for granted. For the people that want to help a little bit, if you go to world1development.com, that one is still WON. If you want to donate us a little donate button, you can stroll down to see all the great work that we do. You can also Cash App us, $ World One Development. We getting ready to start our spring break camp. Every grandma, every mama can't afford all that what we do. So every donation, $60, sponsors a whole kid, and we pick them up, we feed them, we take care of all that good stuff. So I'm excited about that. So for the people that want to kind of support every week, consider that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So lastly, we have to give our disclaimer before we get ready to hop off the air.
You gotta go.
So the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed on this program belong solely to the host. That would be Charles and myself, and our guests, and are not necessarily to this station, affiliates, organization, committee, or other groups or individuals associated with NYCU.FM.
Just like that. All right, y'all. We got to get ready to go. We right at the top of the hour. My last comment. So here, Lisa, Tony, thank you for tuning in. Mr. AJ said he shared your show. Uncle Brian said he shared the show. Natasha said, so glad you both are here. We're glad to be here. Richie Anderson said, great job. Keep up the good work and all that fun stuff. We are at the top of the hour. Love y'all. We finna hit our outro, but tomorrow, same place, same time, 7 a.m. Community Wake Up. Charles Harper.
Damali Wilson.
We're going to see y'all tomorrow morning.
Yes.